before I get into this video, I just want to give a big shout out to Minion Lover 24, as he came up with this and he asked me a question, and here is his question. As you can see, his question says, what do you use to record gameplay? Because mine lags a lot. Good question, Minion Lover 24. I'm going to answer that question for you and all people who want to know how to animate and make better videos. So before we get started, you're probably going to want to have, of course, a screen recorder. Now, depending on what you are recording, I usually use OBS Studio or Open Broadcast Software Studio. And so this is what it looks like. So there is a little bit of things that you have to set up when you are recording, depending on what you are trying to record. So as you can see, we have a few settings up here that you can tamper with. As obviously, I have a hotkey, which is my hotkey is F1 to start recording, and F2 is to stop recording. As you can see here, that it says stop recording. So if I hit F2, it will stop recording. Now, this for me is good for Windows capturing. Now, what I use to record most of my Roblox videos is Fraps. Now, Fraps is not free, but I'm not quite sure if some people might have made it for free. There is a demo. I did not get this for free. I bought it. So let me pull that up for you. So this is what Fraps looks like. I'm not gonna go to general since my email's there. So I can go to it anyway. So this is what it does look like. And so you have, depending on what you're running on, I'm running on Windows 10. So I cannot record my desktop or any Internet Explorer content with this. So if I load up a game, I could record anything with this. As you can see, for me to record, I have numpad and the little star thingy. I record at 30 FPS. Occasionally I will record at 60 FPS, such as for Gary's mod. I will record at 60 FPS, but usually it changes itself to go higher, and in Gary's mod and high graphic games such as Counter-Strike Source and Gary's mod, it will run at 280 FPS. Once you are done recording a video, what you are obviously going to want to do is most likely edit the video. Depending on what your video is, you may want to have a program to edit it. So there are two programs that I can use to edit my videos. One is Windows Movie Maker. Windows Movie Maker is one of the most common video editors and movie makers. Since it is, I'm not quite sure if this is something you have to buy, because I got this for free off of something, Microsoft.com. So this is what it looks like. It is a very simple program. You go up to here, add videos and photos. You can go anywhere, add any videos, such as these videos. I can add any of them, and if I double click it, it will load up. Depending on the length and size of the video, it may load slowly. I also use this to load up my intro that you see in every single last of my video, such as, well, I don't know why it says outro. It's supposed to say intro. But anyway, with this tool, you can add audio or music, which I use. You have several of them that you can just use to basically make anything you want to. The next program that you can use is Sony Vegas Pro, which is a program that you again have to pay for. I bought this program as well, and so it's basically a more advanced version of Windows Movie Maker. So what you can do with this, you have a lot more to do with this. You can double over audios, you can blur things out with it, you can like zoom in really deeply and stuff like that, add really cool music, edit the music. So it's just a whole bunch of things that you can do with this. You can even extract the audio to a CD if you want to save it. You can get a lot of things. You can put in little pictures in your videos, such as if you want to like make a video with like some guy's face slapped onto another man's face, you can do that with this program. And now the problem with Sony Vegas Pro is it is a little bit more advanced. It took me a little bit of time to learn this. It maybe took me about 2 to 3 weeks to learn this program fully, but for some people, depending on how you do it, it may take a good month or so. As you can see, it will allow you to do almost anything on this program. As always, next up, you're probably going to want to have a thumbnail. This is where I save my thumbnails. I usually save it in pictures, obviously. This was my last picture I used. As you can see, it was shown in one of my videos. Depending on what you want to do with this, you can edit it. I can edit this. I can draw all over it or something like that. I could use the erase tool to erase stuff like that. You can do anything with this, basically, whatever you want with it. Yeah. I usually will use something else such as paint.net. I haven't used that in a while. So you're obviously going to want to make a thumbnail depending on what program you're going to use. And you might want to use maybe something like Source Filmmaker, maybe Gary's Bod, anything you want. You're also maybe going to want to have VCL Media Player. Now, this is optional. Depending on what your screen recorder will save the video as. So if I go to my settings in OBS, I'm not quite sure where it is. So as you can see, it will save mine as a MP4 file. So which is basically a basic thing that almost every person uses. You can save it as anything, but if it saves as a file such as maybe an AVI file, and maybe one of your programs will not be able to open this VCL Media will basically be able to open anything, just in case if you have trouble opening the file. Now, I'm not quite sure if you can export items with this, but because I've never exported a file with this. I've used it before, but yeah, so just in case if you had trouble opening up a file, you could use this. Next thing you're gonna want probably is a good intro. I use Source Filmmaker to make all my intros. Some people use Gary's Mod, some people use stop motion, whatever you want to use to make a good intro, such as I made my intro with Source Filmmaker. Here we go. Now, Source Filmmaker can take a little while to learn. It took me a while because apparently I tried this thing called Roblox's Source, and apparently it did not work or do anything. It imported the file with like errors, and it had missing textures. At one point it just imported as an error, so I had to manually learn on how to import models. That's why I have Blender, which is a 3D model program, in which you make a 3D model, compile it, and add bones to it. I convert it to Milkshape 3D. Then I make a QC file, which is like a notepad file. Then I compile the QC file into Source Filmmaker, and you make the textures, and then it all just compiles into Source Filmmaker. And if you export your file without bones, then basically all you're gonna have is a solid object that has no bones. You can't move anything on it, which is basically boring. So you're probably obviously gonna want to have like limbs or movable parts on your object you want to import. Next up, you're probably gonna want to have some type of description. Now, for a description, you can either write down the name. This is optional though, such as I write all my stuff in a notepad first, and then I just copy and paste it. So first off, you're probably going to want to come up with a video idea or something that you want, so you won't really have to worry about it. So, yeah. Your final step is uploading the video. To upload a file, you're probably going to want to click this, and it will lead to all your video files. So, usually, I save my files in videos. Now, I have captures, which is the scraps, which is basically junk I recorded and nowhere near finished it. Basically, it's the not edited. When I edit the video and add all the stuff I wanted, I save it in the completed files. And as you can see, I have my 2 video files here. And if I go to others, there's my little intro. So basically, that's all you kind of want to need to know, is just to get a good video running. Hopefully, it will get some views. I'm not saying that all your videos will get views. Some of my videos get views and some don't, no matter how hard you work on it. Who knows, someday you might become a very popular YouTuber. I hope so. I do too, because I'm not the most popular YouTuber. But someday you might become a very popular YouTuber, and you might know how to make great videos, get a lot of likes, maybe 13,000 views in just under 10 minutes.